You know, when nature calls, you gotta go. In this case for Nobunobu, it was a little bit too late. Now I'm doing chapters 600 and 601, a double review, and Gintama has finally hit that 600 mark, and I have to applaud Gintama for that. It has come a long way, and to see that it's 600 plus chapters in is quite the accomplishment. Now, chapter 600 was just poop. Okay, you're taking a shit, you gotta do number two, number three, you gotta do all of them stuff. Okay, so they're still doing a negotiation, trying to somehow get away that the liberal fraction army can, take away its soldiers and everything off of Earth, because instead of protecting them like they say, it's more like they're imposing more of a threat on them more than the Tendo Shu. And they're supposed to protect them from the Tendo Shu before they arrive on Earth and destroy it, but instead they're using their powers and whatever powers they're getting from the higher ups to impose more threats. And it's just like how what happened 20 years prior to the storyline, with the Amanto invading Japan and take it over as their own, and then the humans there are forced to, deal with everyday life with these invaders on their homeland. So basically, chapter 600 for the most part really was about poo. Nobu need to go to the bathroom after that prank that Kagura did with, messing up with his food. It caused him, to want to go to the bathroom 3 days straight and have like diarrhea and completely crap his pants. And each time he wants to go to the bathroom and, stop the negotiations, we have where Katsura and Tsukamoto are constantly stopping him, and he's like, "No, you're gonna continue this negotiation. We don't care how much you want to put." They even draw a man's diaper for him, saying, "You want to crap? You're going to crap in this." We even have where the admiral for the liberation force, Admiral Shijaku, was trying to, understand why he wants them to take their forces off of Earth. And, he's telling them, when you gotta go, and if you guys do not listen to me, I'm going to unleash such a force on you guys. And they're thinking it's some type of bomb. The bomb called bowel cut, bowel movements. And he's like, I'm going to implode in like about 3 minutes if you guys do not let me go. And they're thinking it's such a huge bomb threat that it can leave such a devastation, such destruction, that there's no way of forgiveness. Even like years later on, it's like he described it as never forgiving, like a scar that can never be removed. And he's squatting down, and then all his men had to run out the room, and they're there facing back to each other, and they both crap their pants. And it's like, we found a truce, but never speak on how we found the truth ever again. And that was the funniest thing that I saw in that chapter. Now, chapter 601, one thing I did like is that Gintama is starting back up with its long chapter names. That was what made Gintama so unique. So it's starting up back with its long chapters name. And chapter 600 was called If You Skip Reading Jump. If you skip reading Jump, what was it called? If you skip reading Jump for 1 week, then make sure you read closely. Now, it starts off with a chapter of Shinpachi and Ote visiting their father's grave, and talking about like how Shinpachi has changed ever since he met Gintoki. One panel was very touching because it reminded me of like the very first time he and Shinpachi have met, and then later on meeting Kagura and all the adventures that they had gone on. And the funniest thing about this whole chapter, was the discussion about Shonen Jump. They were wondering where was Gintoki and what he was doing, if he was trying to find information on how to take the liberation army out of Earth, as well as finding ways to stop the Tendo Shu and stop Yutsuro. And lo and behold, he's reading Jump. He said, we left Earth for such a long time. We come to find out there is a live action movie, which is actually true. Gintama breaks the fourth wall many times. There is a live action movie, and he's worried about the actor that's going to be playing him. But he says, this guy is good. Kagura's worrying about the actress that's going to be playing her. And they're also with Shinpachi, his character, his actor is not playing him right because he doesn't look like glasses walking on the hinges. and they're worrying about that. They're worrying about that, the fact that Bleach ended and Nisokoi ended, and that we have Titans because our characters, the people that's going to be playing us in the live action movie, are tall. They're like 174 centimeters and 183 centimeters. They're like Titans, and I'm like, my God, I'm laughing throughout the whole thing because I'm thinking they're worrying about what's happening in Shonen Jump and what's happening with Gintama outside of the manga. And right here, your world is about to be on the brink of extinction, and you're worrying about who's going to play you in the movie. And then I realized this is Gintama at its finest. It can't get better than this. And it's like, yo, we have with Noble May. She comes back. She makes a reappearance once again after quite a while. And we have where, the Naruku are attacking them. They're attacking them and trying to kill them. I believe they are working with the Tendoshu. Yes, they are working with the Tendoshu, so they're trying to kill them in order for them not to interfere with Yutsuro. And by the end of the chapter, we see Yutsuro standing on some type of building looking on what's happening because he wants to kill Gintoki and the others and anybody that's standing in his way. So, despite all the funny things that was happening in this chapter, especially with, what happening with the Liberation Army being on the earth, we see some discrimination against the Monto, especially the Monto that actually on the sides of the humans. We saw it in this chapter, and even though you can kind of understand what the humans are going through, I also felt like, they're not justified in doing so. I understand you're angry and upset because this is like something that's happening all over again, like 2 decades later, and they're putting fear in it. But at the same time, you can't blame every single one of them for what is going on. So that was the part also. But for the most part, this chapter was completely funny with the breakage of the fort wall and the fact that Yutsuro now is on planet Earth. So imagine when they see him there, what they're going to do. The fact that Nobume is there, we can see that the Mirawari Gumi is going to be there, and I pray to God that we see the Shinsengumi again because it's been since like how much chapters ago? It's been like possibly 200 chapters or more since we last saw them. Since the farewell Shinsengumi arc, it's been quite a minute. It's been quite a while, and they need to come back right now. I want to know what they found out, how much they trained in order to become stronger, and how much more unified they have become. Because we need all the help we want. Yutsuro is now on planet Earth, and we don't know what's going to go on from here on out. We really don't know. So if you saw this week's chapter of Gintama, please do tell me what you thought about it, how you felt about chapter 600, the poop chapter, and this chapter that's basically, for the most part, about Jump, but as well as the arrival of Yutsuro on planet Earth. So do tell me in the comment section below on how you felt on that. And the links are always in the description box, so you guys could go check those out. And I'm Kimmy Chun of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!